Alright, so this is the quadrant part I was talking about. In order to understand what this means, okay, let's so it says the first point says in the first quadrant 0 degrees to 90 degrees, all values of cos, sine, and tan are positive. Sorry, this means positive. In the second quadrant, 90 degrees to 180 degrees, only values of sine are positive. In the third quadrant, 180 degrees to 270 degrees, only tan is positive. And in the fourth quadrant, 270 degrees to 360 degrees, only cos is positive. What is a quadrant? Let's run it. I hope you made notes in the previous one. So this is the first quadrant, 0 degrees to 90 degrees. Remember, every angle starts from the positive x-axis, so which is 0 degrees to 90 degrees. This is the second quadrant. This is the second quadrant with values of 90 degrees to 180 degrees. Third quadrant with values of 180 degrees to 270 degrees. And this is the fourth quadrant, which is 270 degrees to 360 degrees. What does this mean? Choose yellow. Let's use yellow. Again, from 0 degrees, I have traveled to 90 degrees. There's another color. You have gone from 90 degrees, you have traveled to 180 degrees. You have gone from 180 degrees and you have traveled to 270 degrees. And then lastly, you've gone from 270 degrees, you've traveled to 360 degrees. A full circle. So this is 0 to 90 degrees, that is 180, 180 to 270, and 270 to 360. So now that we understand what quadrants are, what did he mean by in the first quadrant 0 to 90 degrees, all values of cosine, sine, and tangent are positive? Let's go back to our graph. We know that when you're finding cosine and sine, let's forget about from this point to this point. Forget that they exist. All these points, forget that they exist. Sorry. Let's focus on this sector alone. Alright, so for this 90 degrees, remember that when we're finding the cosine, it is between, this is positive. Remember, this is positive. So if you're finding the cosine of any angle between 0 to 90 degrees, it can't but be positive. Because if you're finding the cosine or sine of, I don't know, 30 degrees, it is sleeping on the positive x-axis. If you're finding the sine of 30 degrees, it is sleeping on the positive y-axis. Remember, this line is y-axis. So it can't but, you're around the of 60 is going to be sleeping in the, let's say difference. Around one of 60 is going to be sleeping in the, it's just between 0 to 90 degrees. So there's no way it can't but be positive. It's going to be positive, you know. Yes, if you look for 90, if you look for 90, this color. I look for 19, it can't but be positive. This one is sleeping exactly on the y-axis and this one is sleeping on the 0-axis. So it can't but be positive. Okay, this out of the way. Come on. Yes, so that's what it means by all what's it called? All values are positive. And if cosine and sine is positive, then tan, as remember tan being equal to sine over cos, sine cannot but be positive because the value of cos is positive and the value of sine is positive. They cancel out to be positive. So sine cannot but be positive. But remember, tan 90 is zero division error because nothing can zero cannot be divided by zero cannot divide anything. So and so now that we've understand that logic, let's come to the between the 90 to 180 degrees. So it says only values of sine are positive. Why? Because we've left the positive x-axis and we've moved between the positive y-axis and the negative x-axis. So this is what we're dealing with. We're dealing with this quadrant. So this is the side we're dealing with. This is the side of the circle we're dealing with. So in this quadrant, if you're looking for the value of what's it called, of I don't know, 120, you're looking at the cosine of 120 degrees, it's falling, no matter what you do, it's going to fall on the negative x-axis. But you're looking for the sine of, if you're looking for the sine of 120 degrees, it's going to fall on the positive y-axis. If you're looking for the sine of, I don't know, 180 degrees, which is this, sleeping on this line here, it's on this line. Cosine is going to be negative. Actually, sorry, cosine is going to be 0. And if you're looking for the sine, sorry, I'm so sorry. Cosine is going to be -1. Cosine is going to be -1 because it's sleeping flat on the negative x-axis. So cosine is going to be -1. And if you're looking for the sine of 180, is going to be 0 because it's sleeping exactly on the negative x-axis, and so it's going to, so sine is going to be 0 while cosine is going to be minus. So it says the second quadrant, which is between 90 degrees to 180 degrees, only values of sine are positive, as you can see here, because we're dealing with the positive y-axis and the negative x-axis. Hopefully that makes sense. If we're dealing with, now let's move to the third quadrant, which is between 180 degrees to 270 degrees. Now we are dealing with the negative x-axis and the negative y-axis, and here it says only values of tangents are positive. Why? Because values of, if you're looking for, I don't know, 270 degrees or I don't know, 200 degrees, if you're looking for 200 degrees, it cannot but lie in the negative y-axis and negative x-axis, because value for sine of 90 of 200 degrees is going to be touching the you're going to be reading from the negative y-axis, and value for the cosine of 200 degrees is going to be you're going to be reading from the negative x-axis. Only values of tan are positive. Why is this? Because when you say remember, tan is equals to sine over cosine, and if the values of this one is negative and the value of this one negative cancel negative, is always going to be equal to a positive value. So only values of tan are positive. And lastly, if we're looking at the 270 degrees and to 360 degrees quadrant, which is the first quadrant, we're dealing with the negative y-axis and the positive sector of the x-axis, and so it says only values of cos is positive. Why? Because we're dealing between the negative y sector and positive x half of the x-axis, and so only values of cosine is going to be positive. Why is tan not positive? Because when you are trying to divide positive sine over, sorry, negative negative sine over positive cosine, when they cancel out, it's always going to give you a negative value anyways. So only values of cosine are going to be positive. So that's what, that's what it says. So hopefully we understand these principles. Like I've mentioned before, if you don't understand what I'm teaching and you have questions to ask, please ask in the comments. And if you don't understand the way I've taught it, there are videos on YouTube. They break it down. It's just incredible. So just, or if you can ask me to send you these videos, and I can always Google them, and sorry, check out them on YouTube and send them to your email or something. I don't know. So just, it's all about understanding these things, and hopefully we get there. So yeah, before I start talking about coterminals, I would like to you know mention a few things. The video, like I said before, I'll drop the links of the videos that I've used to understand this topic in the description, and the name of the web YouTube channel that I watched the video on is Maths and Science. The man teaching the lectures, his name is Jason Gibson. um he breaks down this in details. He makes the videos, it's a playlist, and the name of the playlist is algebra 2 course unit 18. And I think there's about 6 videos in the playlist that is detailing and talking about angle measurement and trigonometry. And in the first video, which is I think 30 something minutes long, he explains the foundation, like he gives you the foundation and the basics of what angle measurement really is all about. And so the other videos then go into cosine and sine and things like that. So he's wet the floor for you to understand exactly what you're learning in the playlist of trigonometry and angle measurement before he starts talking about the main themes, which is cosine, tan, sine, and tangent. So if you really want to understand this, you can always go to his channel and watch it. And I'm sure that loads of videos in the channel for you to wrap your head around, to digest and ingest and enjoy. Because it's really about this. It's about, you can't understand something by just cramming it. You need it broken down. You need to understand what you are learning, so you can build on it. And that's what this guy has done, and so that's where I've learned it from, to teach on my own channel. And yeah, so, and after this video, or after this coterminals I'm going to talk about, then the next point is gift explaining, or giving practice questions and giving a brief explanation on the one topic 1.3 in measurement of angles in the textbook we're using. So